Hey, welcome back to D-Loney V8 Motorsports. It's Saturday and it's Buick Day today. I'm going to take you through this. I'm going to do the front suspension on this car. Not something I've done a lot of, but I'm going to go ahead and take you through it, do some time lapse so you get to see the process. It's probably going to take me a while. Fortunately for you, time lapse, so I'll make it quick. Anyway, let me show you what I've got for tools laid out here. This is stuff out of the old toolbox. Got the 1/2-inch drive, because I'm assuming some tight bolts, some big bolts, and it's going to need 1/2-inch drive. The hammer, it's not really a BFH, but it's a hammer. The pickle fork, I bought that years ago. I think it shucks, and I've used it here and there. And I really haven't done a lot of front suspension work on anything. The 70 Buick Skylark, I think, was the last thing I touched, and that was, what was that? All new A-arms, upper and lower A-arms, and Moroso springs in that car at the time. That would have been, boy, 2004 or 5, something like that. Anyway, 3/8 drive, and I do have a spring compressor. We'll see how that works. I've used that style before. I used it on the Buick. I bought this one a while ago from Advanced Auto Parts or something like that. Anyway, the trusty Makita 3/8, and then the torque limiting gun, the 1/2-inch drive gun, it actually does full torque on removal, but when you're tightening, it only goes to 70 pounds. So it's pretty handy for lug nuts and stuff. And you have to have brake clean and blue towels for every job. So let's look at the before. This thing is totally stock, all original. I don't know that it's ever had anything replaced on the front end other than brakes. And so drum brakes, they're going away. Sway bar will go away. It's gonna be a drag car, or it's gonna be drag raced. And so you don't want a sway bar on there. You want everything to travel freely. We do have some pretty much replacement ball joints coming, and I've got some I don't know, semi-trick A-arm bushings coming, and so I'll show you those when it's time. And I think I might have showed this already, but this is what's going on there. So made a deal a while back at Kime Race Cars for a used but never installed, well, I guess never run down the road, set of brakes. And so Willwood calipers, nice new spindles, and slotted drilled rotors. Nothing special there, but a lot better than the drum brakes on the front of that thing. And so it'll be, you know, it'll be safe, and it'll stop a lot better than it does. And hopefully the steering will tighten up a little, and hopefully get ready for what eventually we hope to be a V8 between the fenders. Oh yeah, I did buy a new master cylinder, and I put that on. These things come with a single, and I put a dual on it. That's the price I paid, 20 bucks. And so we'll see how it works. It may get thrown away, but it looks like it's brand new. It was never used, and so we'll see how it fits with the rest of the combination. Anyway, all right, we'll take you through this thing. Stick around. Well, it's a bit of a wrestling match, but we have got the sway bar off and the ancient Montgomery Ward's shocks off of there. Be glad I'm not putting the camera on myself, because I probably look like I'm wrecked. Anyway, yeah, it's time for a drink of water, cool down a little bit, maybe a cup of coffee, and then it's time to get after some of the bigger stuff. But yeah, I got the shocks out of the way, sway bar out of the way. It is crusty under there. Quite the buildup. I've done a fair amount of scraping and some pressure washing on this thing, and you just can't even tell. So yeah, it's gonna be nice to have those A-arms off of there, cleaned, painted with new parts. I'll be back. All right, little update, little break. Still plugging away at it. We are whipping off the front brake assemblies, and that's going to make it a lot more convenient to get to the hard part, which is the spindle and ball joints and springs. So that's what it looks like with it removed. And I did phone a friend, my buddy George Burns, who has done this countless times. Gave me some good advice and how to get this thing apart safely. So probably going to use the spring compressor, but there are other options if that doesn't work. So still wrestling with it. It's going pretty smooth. Just taking my time, listening to the music. Well, another quick update. There's proof. The spring is out. Look at the crusty buildup on those lower A-arms. That thing's gonna get all bead blasted, painted. It's gonna look great. But man, bit of a battle to get the springs out. If you've done this before, you know. I've done it before once, a long time ago, but usually I just send it to George Burns at Burns Brothers Performance, and it comes back pretty and with new springs. So anyway, if you're one of George's customers, you know who you are. Give him a high five next time you see him for fighting these springs when you have to. Anyway, I'm going to hit the other side, and then it's to get the A-arms off, I guess. And I think that's going to be it for the day. So we'll see how it goes. Stay with us. All right, well, we got this thing blown apart. It is 2:33, so I don't know, six hours, I guess, something like that, with a lunch break in the middle. Took our time. Springs, boy, the springs were a battle. Everything else went pretty smoothly. It's all super crusty, 1964, but nothing, no major problems with any of the bolts or anything like that. It was just wrestling the springs. My novice technique, I did use a spring compressor, and I used a safety chain, thanks to my buddy George Burns for that tip. A little dicey. I was a little nervous, to be honest, because bad things can happen when the springs get away from you. But it worked out pretty good, and the car had enough weight to it. It was easy to get things released off the spindle, so that all went good. So I'll show you what we got here. Let's see. There is the assembly. Upper and lower A-arms and the springs and the brakes and the sway bar up there. I'll be tossing out most of that stuff. The A-arms are going to stay, but everything else, I believe, is going to be new or replaced. That's what it looks like under there with no A-arms on it. The upper A-arm snubber, the suspension stop, is just hammered on the driver's side. 1964 rubber. Yeah, same on this side. So we'll get those replaced. That's this thing right here. Anyway, the brake lines came apart just fine. I'd like to thank a guy, I'm sure he's long since passed, but a guy named Jim Harvester from Lyman Slack Chevrolet. I remember him teaching me on brake lines, you actually, on an old brake line, you tighten it a little bit before you try to loosen it, and it saves you headaches. I have used that countless times, and it has never failed. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and put this one up, and when we get all the new pretty stuff laid out and ready to go in, I'll do another video. So thanks for sticking around. If you made it this far, you made it to the end, we really appreciate it. Cheers. Have a good weekend.